Beatrice Selby, good day. I just want to know who else below the belt with me today. Who below the belt with us? Good to see you, folks. We want to know who else below the belt with us. Good to have each and every one of you. Drop a comment as soon as you come. Rock and come in with the comments, guys. Beatrice Selby is first in line on YouTube. Beatrice is a tuba, and we're happy to have Beatrice here. Today we're going to be talking about road carnage. The carnage on the roads, road carnage. Guyana, is it the accident capital of the world? What happening? Or is it the jumbie board? We can lay out the facts, folks. We're going to lay out the facts for you on what's going down. The 411. What's going down on the roads? We're going to get a national day of prayer for the roads. Something. Calling the imams, the mages, the pandits, the pastors, the bishops, and the reverends. Rock and come in. Something's happening here with the carnage on the roads. Stanislaus Washington, Vanessa Andrews, we see you. Marilyn Seafood, we see you as well. Everington Simpson, we see Everington, and we see Charlene, Juicy Tendry, Penelope Hudson, how do you do? We see Carol Chester, we see Terrell Fraser, TF. Good to have each and every one of you. Carnage on the road, folks. Nothing but carnage. And we got to address that. We got to address that, folks. Or else it would be remiss of us not to address that. Lots going on. We're going to be outlining for you what's happening with the roads. Come on, folks. As you rock and come in, you know you got to share the live stream. Lulz McKenzie, Pamela Sanchari, Lily Paul, how you doing? Fitzhubert Sherrick says he's locked in on a bright, sunny Connecticut day. He says prayers for his dear country. Yes, please do, Fitzhubert Sherrick. When you go to that beautiful church, remind me of the street it's on, that beautiful parish there. Do say a prayer for us. Fitzhubert Sherrick from Connecticut. Beautiful Connecticut is in the house. Folks, love me some Connecticut. I love that place. Fitzhubert, respect and manners, sir. Respect and manners. Respect and manners. Hazel Wendy Griffith. Good to see you, Hazel. I see Edward Brooms is here. I see Rhonda Daniels Chance is here as well. I see June Chase is here. I see, is it teacher Allison? TR Allison? Good to have you, Rhonda Daniels, Chance, June Chase. June Ann Williams is here. Robert London is here. He says, greetings all. So please tell Robert greetings in return. Robert London, that is. Samira Ramsuru. Good to see you, Samira. Hi, Samira. Good to see you. Happy Saturday, folks. Lots to share with you in terms of what's happening on the roadways. And we need to change, folks. We need to change. Please and thank you. Shucks. You all know us. Any place we be, anywhere we go, anywhere we there. We out here. Respect and manners to all our Guyanese brothers and sisters all over the world, keeping it real. Like Fitzhubert Sherrick, retired this year and, just enjoying retirement. My Lord. Go ahead and be great, Fitzhubert. Go ahead and be great. Vanessa De Silva, all the people in Region 5 and Region 6, respect and manners. All the regions of this fantastic, beautiful country of ours. I wish I was in some place like Cato, Paramacatoy this morning, enjoying the beautiful air, the freshness. All we pack up here on the coast. I tried it. I want a little plot of land somewhere like that. High on a hill in Paramacatoy, far from the jagabats, trench crappos, the tadpoles, the jumbie birds, the carrion crows. Far from them. Good to have you, folks. What a Saturday it is. I hope your Saturday is off to a running start, folks. I hope it's off to a running start. We're fired up and ready to go. fired up and ready to go. Just do Saturday your way, folks. Easy like Sunday, but it's Saturday. Easy like Sunday. Please and thank you. Uh-uh. Good to see you. Ann King, how do you do? Ann King says, I need my NIS benefits. So many people. We got to get NIS right. Shucks. Come on now. We got to get NIS right. Lots happening, folks. Lots happening. Lots and lots happening. Love me some Ghana. Love this country. We got to fix it, though. We got to fix it. Come on, Papa Jackman. We got to fix this thing. Don't talk about people got to get NS for 100 years. We got to fix this country that we could survive for 100 years. It ain't make no sense. If we can be punishing for 100 years, we got to survive this, baby. Please, thank you. We got to survive this thing. Survive this thing. We got to do that. Folks, lots happening. And I'm happy. I'm happy. So much is happening. I see the people of the Sanaru. They're getting some justice where they had that verdict from that international body that was handed down that they should have reparations for the violation of their human rights since 2013 under the Chagabats and Trench Crappos. Justice. And you know, the people there are saying that the violations, the rights violations have intensified. We claim we love people and we treat them so bad. Come on now. We claim we love us some indigenous brothers and sisters and we treat them so bad. We violate their rights. Please and thank you. We got to fix that. Along with NIS. Marcel Williams, good to see you. Dan Gravesandi, happy Saturday. Pamela Viola Canzias, good to see you. Marilyn King, Carol Chester. Folks, I hope it is well wherever you are today. I hope you guys are great. You're not just living, you are thriving. You have a right to do so. As sure as the sun rose today, go ahead and be great, my people. And there are reports that 2 are feared drowned after a tug capsized near the Kanji Bridge. More Pocatory. Pocatourism. We got a proudest country, you know. And I know some folks listening to us know how to pray. I know you all know how to pray. You know, Lord knows we need some prayers in this country. If you're not a believer, it's fine. It's fine. It's good. You come around. Good to have all of you beautiful, wonderful folks here with us. All right. Good to have you guys here. If you give me a second, my computer's indicating I need to plug it in. Fire it up. So fire it up. Yep, I think I did what I needed to do. Thank you so much for holding the line. Nicola Daniels, good to see you. Andrew Cuthbert, good to see you. So the folks at the Santa Road, they're saying their rights are still violated. Is that where we were when I left? Maureen to Chesterport, good to see you. Good afternoon to you too, Maureen. Go ahead and be great. Nicola Daniels, go ahead and be great. Happy to see so many of you. As I said, two are feared drowned in a tug that capsized near the Kanji Bridge. We got to be so careful out there. And as we were talking a little bit, whether you're driving, it's a car on the road, or you are driving a boat as well, whatever, you're flying a plane, I guess it still applies. It still applies. They say we have to practice the 5 C's. We got to practice care, caution, consideration, common sense. That's a difficult one, I think. And courtesy. That's thing, common sense ain't common as a thing. Ain't as common as you think it is. You all understand? It's not as common as you think it is. Huh? Please and thank you. It's not as common, but we gotta try. Care, caution, consideration, common sense, and courtesy. The way you see some people drive, you wonder. You wonder about the common sense. You know? When a bus man beat you to overtake you just to cut across and pull in the corner right in front of you, you wonder about this thing called common sense. You know? We gotta pray for some folks. Tomlin Yearwood Band, we see you there. Philomena Fontenelle, FF. Alexis Williams, good to see you as well. Guys, we're so happy on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. You've chosen to join us. We feel privileged like that. We're very jealous of y'all. When y'all go elsewhere, we're very jealous. We guard our supporters, our listeners, our fans. We guard y'all very jealously. Very jealously. When I see some of y'all other places, I get very jealous. I said, I thought we got something going, but look this one here now. Huh? We like that. We like that. But good to see each and every one of you nonetheless, folks. Good to see each and every one of you, brothers and sisters. Good to see you all. And as I said, so much happening. We're very, very concerned about what's happening on the roadways, and we're going to be talking about that. But lots of activities coming up this month. I see this young lady's having an activity. I think I might take a peep at that. Moonlight Stories, set for Pegasus on the 21st. I think I can peep this thing. I've known this young lady for a little while. I've watched her. She's so beautiful. Sasha from Sasha's Designs. And she does fantastic work. I think she's the embodiment of fashion itself. And, when we see our young people who are excelling locally, we ought to support them. We need to support them. And so, Sasha of Sasha's Designs, they are having a Gallus first gala and runway show. See? They didn't even pay me for do this, but I just given them a shout out. They even said take a little blind. They're having the first gala and runway. It sounds very interesting. That's why I think I might take a pass. Moonlight Stories is set for Pegasus Corporate Suites on May 21st. The event features a fusion of fashion, art, and culture, and is sure to be a treat for guys. I think I'm gonna walk by. I think I can swing by and see what's going on. Sometimes we gotta come out with comfort zone. I love all the things here though. Fashion and art and music. I think she called my name. That's a present. So just wishing the team best wishes with our showcase. And Sasha's making the pages of the Starbucks News today, looking very looking like a meal, to be honest. Looking like a meal out here. I see Crystal Simmons also. Young Crystal Simmons is putting her heart into her art and events businesses. And I really love to see when young people aren't sitting idle, but they are on the up and up. And this young woman, according to Starbucks News, is really doing well. She's 23, the youngest of 6 children, and she is from Bardica, and is really putting her all into her business. And she's into art, and I think she's also into decor. Crystal Simmons. Right. Love to see our young people getting up and getting. Get up and get. That's what we grew up hearing. Get up and get. Natasha sing. Huh? Get up and get. Good to see you, Natasha. Good to see you, Natasha. Good to see you, Diane Gravzandi and Mark. Idel Rodney and well, all the Marks here. I see Mark DeCosta, Mark Garnett, John Barnes, Marilyn Thomas, all the Marks here, all the Dons here apparently as well. Good to have you folks here on this sunny Saturday, and we'd have it no other way. What's the weather like where you are? Y'all don't jealous the weather, you know. Don't jealous the weather. All y'all do. Don't jealous the weather. But what is the weather like where we are? I'm going to tell you that just in a second. Yep, they're telling us it's 29 degrees here, folks, and weather-wise, looks like it's going to be a good day. They're telling us there's a 1% chance it's going to rain. 1% chance it's going to rain. It's 29 degrees outside, but they're telling us it feels like 35. 29 degrees outside, those of you who are outside. And you know, the beauty of the doing the podcast is that we get to put our feet up, we get to just relax. We could lie down, we could stand up. Once the mic is in hand and you great folks are there, we could get the work done. We can get the work done. Good to see you, Andrew Cuthbert, and all the other folks who are joining us this morning. Vanessa De Silva, good to see you, Beatrice Selby. Good to see you, Winfred McCurdy. Good to see you, Colin Bobby Lewis. Good to see you, Marilyn King. Good to see you, Maureen Chichester Paul. Good to see you, Magnell Barrow. All the other folks there joining us. Good to see you, lovely people. All right. Natasha says she wants me to buy a ticket for her. I think Barrow says. I think it's me she's talking to, Natasha St. Louis. For the event. Natasha? Mm-hmm. Well, if it's there, it's there. If we gotta go, we have to go. Please and thank you. Winston Henry. MP Natasha St. Louis, good morning to you and the family. Hope all is well at your end. We hope all is well. Good to see you, folks. Good to see you. Let me see. I like mischief on Saturday. Like me some mischief. Like me some mischief any day. How is Babis, folks? How are things in Babis? Good to have you guys here. All right. I like company now. I always like company. Some weeks alone. Sometimes I like to be alone, but for the most time, love me some company. Love me some company. Love us some company. Good to see all. That's what we love when you guys are here. Margaret Nelson says it's 77 degrees in my area of Somerville. Oh, that's the name, all right. Somerville. That's the name. That's the name. Somerville. That weather looks good. Lily Paul. And folks, believe it or not, I want my brother to know my brother Vince Roy Jordan has joined us, and I want him to know he's live. Vince Roy, we just want to know what's happening at your end. It's Saturday. What are you up to, MP Vince Roy Jordan?
Well,
you are live.
Sure, I'm on the road at the moment. I'm heading to Linden.
Oh, you heading to Linden? What is the weather like outside, Vince Roy?
I didn't get that.
What is the weather like in Linden? You heading for the tail end of Tongue Week? Carolina, man.
No, I'm not heading for Tongue Week. I'm heading for a wedding.
Oh, you're heading for
it's
even
bright
better.
And sunny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, bright and sunny. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Bright and sunny. Awesome. And so you're heading for a wedding there, and no doubt you're going to be having a better time than us this weekend, probably busting and moving the dance floor and so on. Because you know what they say about the guys from Berbice. You all on the dance floor.
Well, you know, Barbicians do everything best, you know.
It's true. My wife would agree with you. My wife would agree with you. What would you tell our Guyanese folks on a weekend like this, listening to you, about what's happening, getting outside, maybe getting some sightseeing, what have you? Talk to us for a second before we let you go. We be discussing like this.
All right. Well, one thing I would say to my Guyanese brothers and sisters is that we have a long weekend, and I trust that they will take at the same time that they will be cautious and stay safe, be responsible, act smartly. I know there's a lot of parties, a lot of activities. The buzz is out. Linden, I understand they have the Tongue Week activities coming to close, but you know, I trust that as Guyanese spend in this difficult and trying economy, that they understand that the save the dollars for tomorrow. Don't spend it all out on those businesses that promotes these big dances and all.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm not
Mm-hmm.
against the business, I'm letting Guyanese know that they need to be cautious and use their monies wisely because in such a difficult economy and um, very little coming down to the poor man, I believe that it is time that like oh, this is pretty much kept
Yeah. Yeah. We
you
big,
know,
but we ain't stupid.
today,
We big and we
you
got
know,
sense. MP Jordan, thanks for joining us
right.
on short notice. And be safe.
All right, thank you very much, Sharon.
Fantastic.
You
Have
have
a
a
great
good
morning. Awesome. Folks, I tell y'all I like company. I ain't tell y'all. Love me some company. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. And we trust that you guys are great. And you got to be ready like a ready soldier in this business. You got to be ready as a ready soldier in this business, guys. Because you never know. We just call upon you and say, boom, tell me something. Tell me something. And guys, we love that you guys spend this time with us. We're gonna be talking about the carnage on our road shortly and how we must practice these 5 C's. We gotta practice these 5 C's, right? We gotta practice the 5 C's. Good to have each and every one of you here with us again. Philomena Fontenelle, Wills Felix Kimon, and Maxine Monroe, all the other guys, Alexis Williams, and so forth. Right? All the other folks. Chief Whip Christopher Jones, good morning, sir. You are live, believe it or not. You're live below the belt. The people have been saying they're missing you. Where you're there, we want to know how you're spending Saturday. Actually, you're live.
Um,
You're live. What's happening? How are you spending Saturday, sir?
well, so far so good.
And knowing you, you
It's
probably
actually,
you probably rock back by the Marriott or you're in the business suite at the Pegasus. Nice French
I wish,
toast,
I
bacon.
wish, I wish. This is actually the fourth Saturday in a very long time that I've actually been home.
Mhm,
So I actually slept in a bit this morning,
mhm.
got up, do some laundry, prepare breakfast for the family, and now I'm on the veranda just gazing into the skies.
Hmm. Is the Lord put you on this so you could talk to us without any distraction?
Yes.
Yep. What is the weekend looking like, Chris?
I'm gonna be home actually.
Taking
Well,
it easy.
likely I'm gonna be taking the family for yeah, but I'm gonna be taking the family for a drive
Hmm.
tomorrow. Probably might gonna be heading up to Linden,
Hmm.
and then on Monday probably take them to
Hmm.
East for East for a
Apparently,
drive.
all roads lead to Linden because we were just talking with MP Vince Roy Jordan. He's heading to Linden. So, like,
Okay, yeah,
like I missed
the
something. Like
Linden
no,
Tongue
no,
Week.
no nobody tell me fest happening this weekend. Pack a cup up.
Yeah, I know the Linden Tongue Week kicked off yesterday, and from some images that I
Hmm.
saw this morning, looked like it kicked off a very good start.
Hmm.
I'm very happy for that because I mean Linden Tongue Week is actually one of the great economic booster for that part of the region. I know all of the hoteliers have essentially all of the hotel rooms have been booked, the guest house has been booked.
Hmm.
A lot of the people who prepare meals and so forth, they've been inundated with requests. The taxi drivers are making some money to take people around.
Yeah, yeah.
The clothing vendors as well. A lot of the clothes are being sold and so forth. So it is a good economic booster for the region. I know a lot of overseas Londoners and overseas Guyanese in general came down and they're actually heading up into the region as well too. So I'm very happy for it. I don't know what it is, but unfortunately for me, I've never, in all my years, I've never been able to be in Linden for like a weekend during their tongue week. For
Hmm.
some reason or the other, I've been to the opening
Hmm.
with then leader of the opposition, Robert Corbyn, but never actually spent an overnight during the weekend activity there. So definitely, I'll probably have to make that a
Let's plan
must for
it. Put it
next year.
on our bucket list.
Exactly. But as I said, you'll have to book a room months in advance.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have to book
Hmm.
that room months in advance. Yeah.
And you know, I see, yeah, you know, the tourism committee there, led by Devon Sayers, they're doing some great work. I
Mm.
see you can now
Oh yeah.
do you can now walk the trail, you can do kayaking and so on. So I want to get in a couple of that. Chung week or no Chung week. That's one of the things on my bucket list there. Being from Linden
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all.
definitely. Definitely. No, I agree with you. Bevan has been doing tremendous work in the region as it relates to tourism. Anytime you try to reach Bevan, he's always busy with something
Yeah,
related to
yeah, yeah,
tourism, which is good. That essentially he's helping to promote his town and of course bring economic benefit to the people up there as well too. I was in the region about a month or two ago. I stayed at the Watuko house.
hmm
But what I didn't see, like on the Sunday, I was asking the people, the folks there, is like, okay, so is there like a boating thing happening like on a Sunday, you know? Because I would want to go up to Linden on a
hmm
weekend,
hmm
but particularly on like a Sunday, I would want to go on a boat and go up the river further because I have no idea what is further up the Demerara River.
yeah,
So for any Lindeners who listening to this, I always keep pushing the point that perhaps because they reside in the region, they don't notice those economic opportunities that exist.
yeah,
And for
yeah,
like people like us who are from outside of the region, when you go there, you be like, but you know, you have to be doing this, like a jet
yeah, yeah,
boating
yeah,
and
yeah,
paragliding and so forth every Sunday, every weekend,
yeah,
and that sort of thing.
yeah.
And
I would
you
love
need
to
to
jump
do
off of
that
that
as
hill
well.
over the Blue Lake.
Oh yeah,
Paragliding,
oh
as you put it.
yeah,
But the paraglide over the Blue
exactly.
Lake, that must be something.
That's right. That's
That
right.
must be
That's right.
something.
So there's a lot of potential there. I know the challenge that they may get from time to time, which is a challenge, is essentially the startup monies. You
Yeah.
know, monies to for them to invest in that. That's always been a challenge. I know Small Business Bureau, for example, they got either you get a loan or a grant, but the grant is very small. It's between 2 to 500,000, which is not significant enough. I had my own contact with the guy, I think it's Dr. Anderson, subject to correction, who started the kayaking there in Linden
Hmm.
while I was in office. And in fact, my office helped to facilitate him getting the tax waivers for him to bring in those kayaks as well the sports commission because kayaking is a sort of is a sport.
Hmm.
The sports commission as well was able to provide him with a grant of just over $500,000, and that's how he was able to acquire the first set of kayak. And then I saw him launched up, and I'm very proud to see that he's doing very well and so forth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
essentially, in places like Linden and so forth, those youngsters up there who have a lot of potential, a lot of business
Yeah.
ideas,
And
but they
Chris, you know
need
what?
that
I heard
startup
that the
money.
last administration was making some moves to restore, in some way, for a tourist venture, the railway line that runs perhaps, not perhaps, that runs outside of the Huchuca House. They were doing something there to have that as a tourist attraction. The railway lines, because those are still in place, and even some of the carriages are still there. And there was something
Correct,
on that
correct.
front too. So there's lots of potential, as you did say, lots of potential in that region.
There is
Yeah.
indeed, there is indeed. I recall probably like about 8 or 9 or 10 years ago, while I was working with the leader of the opposition, then Robert Corbyn, and we went to Linden on some sort of outreach exercise. I had no idea at the time that the train was actually still running. I think because it works in the mines, yeah. But when we were about to cross the bridge, we had to stop and wait. So I was asking, like, okay, chief, who we waiting for? And he's like, the train is coming. So it's be like, oh, you mean the train coming, like a train, like an actual train? And here comes this train at the time out of the mines into another part of the mine, but it was an actual train.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Hmm.
picture myself and my colleague that was there with me standing on the road in awe because this is the first time we have actually seen in person a train in Guyana,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was that. So I
Imagine
know
what
for
it was like
certain.
years ago to go from Georgetown, to
Exactly.
Rossignol and so on by train. That must have been something,
That's right.
you know.
That's right.
Must have
So
been something.
indeed in terms of that being a tourist attraction for internal tourism, because we don't have train running in Guyana. So you
Hmm.
imagine Guyanese would go up to Linda and say, hey, you could go on a train ride in Linda. It's like, yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would do
And
that.
some places bringing back the train, like Jamaica, for instance. They
That's right. That's
they
right.
have instituted their train. So I think some other Caribbean country as well did the same thing. And I think one of our past leaders said he had regretted he scrapped the train. I don't know if leaders
Hmm.
now are humble enough or mature enough
Yeah.
to say they have regrets. I mean, like this jumpy board here, we could start with that.
I know former President Granger, when he was articulating about these road networks that would see new linkages between places like Kokwani, Berbice, Linden, Essequibo, and whatnot. And he had mentioned that is either in the middle of that road network is that he would bring a rail system, you
Hmm.
know. So
Hmm.
wherever the road network around, the rail is going there with them as well too. So I know there was definitely that school of thought
Yeah,
being had with the previous administration.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we have to keep pushing on all fronts, and
Definitely,
there's only
definitely.
one way we can make this place the way it ought to be. It's only one way, right? Some
That's
people
right.
gotta come and some
That's
people
right.
gotta go.
Correct is right.
With
Correct is
expediency.
right.
Chris, thanks for joining us on short notice, my brother. Thank you so much.
Most welcome,
Have a
Sharon. All the best.
fantastic weekend, you and the family.
You too, and to all of the workers of Guyana and across the world that is listening, happy Labor Day to you. And I know for certain that we, the AP and UAFC, will continue to work tirelessly. So we will ensure that the rewards, the fruits of your labor, that you're able to benefit and live in a comfortable life in which your family and your environment is improved. We will continue to push at that. Happy Labor Day, and thank you very much for the outstanding work in many times difficult circumstances in which you go out there on a daily basis to provide services to the Guyanese people. I thank you very much.
And thank you as well, Chris, for your own service tirelessly. Thank you.
Yeah, most
Have
welcome,
a great
Sharon.
weekend, you
Take
and the
care.
family.
You too, my brother.
And that is the parliamentary opposition chief whip, Christopher Jones, and member of parliament. Great to talk to him and great to catch up with some folks. That's how you do weekends. You call friends who you're too busy during the week to call, and you see if you can hang out if their schedule is open. You catch a movie. You got to take your weekends easy. I mean, we work every day. We happy when it's a holiday now. We've made a decision that we're not going to work every single day. We're going to take the holidays and we're going to rest, recuperate, and recharge and fire again. Because rest is important. Rest is it's a what do you call it? Integral part of being productive. Integral part of being productive. I was on YouTube just recently checking out, you know, best positions for sleeping and how to improve the quality of your sleep and all that. Those things are important, and especially now that we're big. Especially now that we're big. But folks, I want to turn our attention to our topic today: the carnage on the roads. Marlon Lorimer, the carnage. Diane Graves Andy and Tamika Webster, Barney Creation, carnage on our roads. Guyana is the accident capital of the world, I tell you. Accident capital of the world. Accident capital of the world, guys. And I'll show you why. I'll show you why. Incident by incident, accident by accident. I'll show you why it's the accident capital of the world, folks. 29 degrees in the national capital city of Georgetown. It's a 1% chance. Weather.com is telling us there's a 1% chance it's going to rain, folks. And we think we like those odds. Uh, 29 degrees, but they're telling us it feels like 35. And I've been watching at the weather, the comments some of you have been making about the weather where you are. I hope it's just fine. It's just fine to get the work that needs to get done on this Saturday, which is, I hope it's not too much work. That's the other side of it. Hope it's not too much work. But guys, over the last month, don't let's take the year, don't let me take the last 2 years. Over the last month alone, there have been so many accidents. So many accidents. My Lord. Folks, we need to do something about this. We got to treat accidents and issues of gender based violence and, uh, you know, um, abuse and so forth like a pandemic. We got to treat it like a pandemic. And, just recently, we always use the word pandemic. And for my own purposes, I just want to call words to call the words. Say, right? I grew up in that old school. You had to find the dictionary and find out, don't just call words. So I went back to look and see what this word pandemic means because I was wandering between the two, just trying to reconfirm in my own head. At least I used them wrong. what does pandemic mean as against an epidemic? And I'm happy that, the good book says that iron sharpens iron. So a man sharpens the countenance of his friends. I learn things from people all the time. And I hope you don't ever think that you know enough, that you don't need to learn anything else. Because when the time comes, you don't get your reward already. You don't got it already. And pandemic simply means, I've just typed it in again and the internet, and what comes up? It says it's a disease prevalent over a whole country or the whole world. A pandemic is a disease that is prevalent over a whole country or a whole world. That's what they're telling us here, over a whole country or a whole world. And as I'm on this, one of the things I'm going to be doing later on today, I'm going to be going down to Austin's bookstore, my favorite bookstore, and I really want a good dictionary. I've been promising myself to buy a decent dictionary. I had a dictionary, I saw, it came through my hands a little while ago, a good dictionary that has the thesaurus and the dictionary all in one, right? While it's easy to do it on the internet, I love that old school. I like that book in my hand. I don't know why. I love reading on my tablet. I buy my magazines and my books online from the various places. But I love to that physical book in my hand. So I'm wanting a good dictionary as an investment in me. It was Stephen Covey, the great leadership expert, among other things, who said the greatest investment is investment in self. It's like that airline adage. You got to put on your own mask first before you put on the mask of somebody else. So we got to invest in us first. That's why we say be gentle with yourselves. Take it easy on yourself over the weekend. Internalize, recharge. So pandemic says it's a disease, something prevalent over the whole country or the whole world. Right? So this is a pandemic we have in the accidents that are happening in Guyana. We ain't talking about nobody else. We're talking about ourselves. And then epidemic means, when in doubt, verify. Or as they say, when in doubt, Google. Epidemic says something that is widespread, a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease over a community, notice the difference, at a particular time. So pandemic is country or wider, and epidemic is localized. It's a community in that sense. It's a community, a flu epidemic, a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community. So this here with the carnage on the road is not an epidemic. It's pandemic. Same thing with physical abuse, gender-based violence, epidemic. And if COVID-19 was an epidemic, COVID-19, and we had to treat it with such seriousness to really get it under control with all of the protocols and the regulations, the rules and the laws, if we had to treat it so seriously, imagine how we ought to be treating the carnage we're seeing on the roads and how we ought to be treated, you know, the wanton abuse and killing of our women. It's serious. Just this morning, I'm reading a fella someplace who killed his ex-wife. They were divorced, according to the what I was reading. It says they were divorced and sharing the same home. And according to him, the confession, according to him, he overheard her speaking to her new gentleman, and he killed the woman. And he buries her in a shallow grave, 2 lots down from where they're living. Oh my, I value my freedom so much. You understand me? But apparently some people don't value their own. Right? So I want to go and do it time. You have no right. to hit anybody, and you have no right to be so presumptuous as to think that you can take the life of somebody else. To be so presumptuous to think you can do that. So that too is an epidemic, as well as the carnage on our roads. And let me show you why I've been saying that. I'm building up to something because I told you guys we here we tend to do our homework. We tend to do our homework, and I want to share some of what we've been we've been collating. We have been collating, right? What we've been collating. April 6th, we're taking a look at April in accidents. And I'll show you definitively how this must be the accident capital of the world. It must be the accident capital of the world. April 6th, City Street vendor Deborah Salikram. She's also known as Auntie Suki. Suki. She was 59. By some misadventure, she was turning around her motorcycle and she came in contact with a vehicle in the opposite lane, a minibus, and lost her life in the most tragic fashion there on the East Penitence Public Road. She's a popular city street food vendor. She's a food vendor. She was a food vendor, rather. And this is how Deborah Salikram is going to lose her life. In the prime of her life at just 59. And this seems to have been the beginning of the carnage on the roads for just April, folks. And I'm saying this because, sometimes you don't know how to pray. But I'm telling you why you got to pray, because there's so much of this stuff. So much blood being shed on the streets. I think we're losing more people to gender-based violence, to abuse, and to road accidents than we did to COVID-19. That's why we got to stem the tide. So that was April 6th. By April 10th, fisherman Vladimir Bazira, he's 44, of Masara village, North Rupununi. He was riding his motorcycle when he lost control on the Mazara access road. And this is how he's going to lose his life. Right? This is how he's going to lose his life. Just like that. Vladimir Bazira, 44 years old. Pretty young. And so he has transitioned life. That was April 10th. Also on April 10th, in Rupununi, Anai Village Councillor Lennox George. He died as a result of the minibus he was driving at a fast rate, we made to understand, crashing into a tree in the vicinity of Beena Hill Junction. And another relative of his, Lennox George, and her 6-year-old son, they were on the bus at the same time. Unfortunately, very fortunately, their lives were spared. But it was said that Lennox George was trying to navigate a pothole there in the vicinity of Beena Hill Junction when he crashed into a nearby tree. On the parapet, as I said, the woman who was with him, his relative, and her son, their lives were spared. But Lennox George was not so lucky. He was not so lucky. Also on April 10th, Makeda Quick, she was just 14 years old. Makeda Quick. And she resided in Section D Fields of Fire, and she was a student of Tugville Secondary School. And she died after a pedal bike that she was on was struck by a speeding motorcyclist, people. She was struck by a speeding motorcyclist. And this was a motorcyclist who, according to the news reports, he was performing stunts on his motorcycle. He was lying down, we told, on the motorcycle, which seems to be a big thing here now. You know, you're going to do all these stunts on the public road to be seen. So he was doing stunts, according to the report. He was lying down when he struck 14-year-old Makeda Quick. And she was flung some distance into the air before falling into a nearby drain. God of mercy. She was just 14 years old and a student of Tuckville Secondary when Makeda transitioned life in this way. And she hadn't even begun to live as yet. And stuntsman knock her off her bicycle upside down. How could we be using the road so recklessly? And that's fun for some people, you know. You know, the community would come out and cheer. You see people doing stunts on the road. Y'all go by the circuit and kill yourself. Or culture center tarmac or someplace like that. Do all your stunts about the circuit. You know? But they want the gallery. They're playing to the gallery. Those of you got your age, you know what I'm talking about. They're playing to the gallery. And so, young Makeda Quick lost her life in this fashion. Carnage on our roadways, people. And that's why we're asking the question this morning. Is Guyana the accident capital of the world? Is it? And that's only the 10th of the month, you know. That's only the 10th. When stuntsman knocked down Makeda Quick, 14 years old, and kills her. That's only April 10th. By April 11th, folks, by April 11th, another teenager, Odell Taylor, he's 18. He was said to be riding at a fast rate and without a helmet when he was involved in an accident at 1 Mile Public Road, Wismar Linden. And in this instance, he collided with another motorcycle. No helmet on. Another feature locally. Another feature locally. No helmet on. And he came into contact with another motorcycle and lost his life. Odell Taylor, 18. Barely begun to live his life in the flower of his youth. Right. A mere 18 years old, colliding with another motorbike there at 1 Mile Wismar. That's on the 11th. By the 16th, folks, of the month, barely halfway through April, barely halfway through the month of April, when Bartica businessman Premnath Prasad, 54, known as Greensman, he died after he was struck down by a motorcyclist in First Avenue, Bartica. And Premnath was standing on the parapet when he was struck down. Premnath was standing on the parapet when he was struck down. That's on the 16th. By the 18th, it was security guard Alex Amsterdam, 24. I tell you about carnage on the roads. I ain't tell you, it's carnage on the roads. Nigel Polydor, Marlon Lorimer, Earl Wilcott, carnage. Mark Doris, carnage on our roads. By April 18th, it was security guard Alex Amsterdam, 24. He died in a collision on the railway embankment. Amsterdam was employed with the Security Service. OPS Security Service. And we made to understand that he was riding his motorcycle, he was on the embankment, and there was a car in the process of crossing an intersection there at Ogle when Alex Amsterdam, barely 24, met his demise. And what is worse is that Alex's fiancée is 5 months pregnant with their first child. God of mercy. Mercy, mercy, mercy. He's 24 and his fiancée, she's 5 months pregnant with their first child. Carnage on the roads. Carnage on the road. Mercy. Carnage. That's April 18th. April 18th. Also on April 18th, Sandra Pandey called Radha for the one. Sandra Pandey called Radha a mother, and she was also a cook. She was fatally struck down while crossing the road at Munripo Public Road on the east coast of Demerara. And Radha was at the time visiting her reputed husband. He said that she was a cook in the interior and he hadn't seen her for about 6 months. And she had come calling at his house. She called him on the phone, and he was surprised to hear from her. And she told him she was outside, and he looked outside and he saw her. He said he went out and they were talking, and he held her hands and she pulled it away. Apparently they were just being playful, according to him. She pulled it away, and he crossed over the road for something, and she was crossing over after him when she was struck down. Sandra Pandey called Radha. She was 41, and it was the 18th of April. Right. She's now out of the interior after quite a few months, and she loses her life. Not in the interior to malaria or anything else. Crossing the road in the city. And that is why we say the roads in Guyana are perhaps the most dangerous in the world. Crossing the road. Sandra Pandey called Radha loses her life at Munripo. 18th day of April in the year of our Lord. April 26th. April 26th. April 26th. 62-year-old mechanic Randy Lee died. 62-year-old mechanic Randy Lee died, and several others were injured following an accident at the number 58 Mabura Trail in Region 10. Randy Lee, he was 62. He died on the Mabura Trail, 58 rather. Randy Lee. Lee is said to have been swerving again from a pothole at the time of his demise. Swerving from a pothole when he loses his life on the Mabura Trail. April 26th, again, Saul Tripol, 29, a security officer. Saul Tripol, 29, a security officer of Venezuela's scheme Melanie on the East Coast. He was involved in an accident along the Pleasance Public Road, East Coast, Demerara. And he would die 3 days later in a hospital. Saul Tripol, 29, on the Pleasance Public Road. He dies 3 days later at the hospital. Carnage on our roads. This must be the accident capital of the world. And this is 1 month And folks, we are the end yet. We meet the end yet. It's the 26th day. And we're now picking up pace. We're now picking up speed. We're now picking up speed. April 27th, at Covoden, or rather, a Covoden man, Mohan Tulsi, 56. April 27th, a Covoden man, Mohan Tulsi, died after he was struck down by a lorry while attempting to cross the Bagotstown public road. Guyana has the most dangerous roads in the world. People don't die like this in New York City, one of the busiest cities in the world, the way they die in all parts of Guyana. That's why I'm saying to you, that's why we are saying to you, it's a pandemic. It's an epidemic. It's a pandemic, rather. Let me get my words right. It's a pandemic in scale. What's happening on our road? It's carnage. Mohan Tulsi was 56 when he struck down by a lorry attempting to cross the Bagotstown public road. April 27th. April 27th again. A 14-year-old is seriously injured and hospitalized after he was involved in a serious accident. He was involved in a serious accident along the Friarish public road under quarantine. Along the Friarish public road under quarantine. Right. He was just 14. And he was lucky. But this 14-year-old was driving the car that was involved in the accident. His life was spared, but he was driving the car that was involved in the accident belonging to Azad Ali, 14 years old. Who's sharing the live stream? We tell you all we're about, credible and valid information. And we do our homework, unfortunately. 14 years old, and he is driving the car owned by Azad Ali. Seriously injured and hospitalized, had to go through surgery and all of that. And we're still monitoring that. He walked away with his life. I'm putting walked away in uplifted commas. April 27th. April 28th. A cyclist from Fowlis on the East Coast, Hanchan Basdio, 29. He succumbed at the Georgetown Public Hospital after he collided with a car along the Enmore Access Road, also on the East Coast. Hanchan Basdio, 29. On the 28th day of April, he loses his life to an accident. Guyana's roads are some of the most, if not the most dangerous in the world. And it is nothing short of a miracle, folks, that on April 27th, where a bus was involved in an accident on the Iflat public road, that there weren't any fatalities. If you see the video of how the driver was paced to the front of the bus, it is nothing short of a miracle that to date, we haven't heard of any fatalities. Several persons were hospitalized following that accident on the Iflat public road, West Coast Demerara. Right. The minibus, we being made to understand, was speeding. The minibus was speeding, and it attempted to overtake a car resulting in that accident. The bus was reportedly driven by 37-year-old Troydon Carrington. Troydon Carrington, 37. If you see the bodies on the road, but thankfully, again, as I said to you, public spirited persons came to the rescue very, very quickly and ferried them to hospital. And to date, there have been no loss of lives. But you should see people on the road. The bus turned over. Such was the impact. Carnage on our roads. And we have a responsibility, all of us have a responsibility to exercise the 5 C's when using the roadways: care, caution, consideration, common sense, and courtesy. And we love to say slow down and arrive alive. That's one of our mantras here. Slow down and arrive alive. Folks in the diaspora, you as well. And when you're talking to your folks back home, encourage them to use the roadways with care, caution, consideration, common sense, and courtesy. And let us all arrive alive. And folks, this was just April. And we can capture every accident happened in April, you know. Let me just tell you that. Because there was one on the Linden Suicide Highway where a man ran off the road. The guy said he was doing 160 miles an hour. I don't have his name. Ran off the road. We didn't cover every accident. Because that one, for instance, didn't make the news. That is just 1 month. And we still got a couple hours in today left. What's happening in this country? Is it forces? Is it zombie bird? What is it? But in spite of all of that, care, caution, consideration, common sense, and courtesy will take us a far way. Lots of times when I'm driving, if I'm overtaking somebody, I hear some of the driving theory I did years ago kicking back in. When in doubt, pull back. And sometimes it's something I apply in other areas of my life. When in doubt, pull back. Right? Don't mash the X harder. That's not driving principle. When in doubt, you pull back. Right? For some of us, when in doubt, it's good, more speed. And you know one thing I don't hear about? When you examine all of these accidents, you don't hear about people's license being suspended, people being banned from driving. No, no, no. A bus driver could write off one bus today and go and drive another one tomorrow. Write off a whole bus, kill a whole set of people, and he could go and drive next week another bus. So we have to get it right at the policy level as well. And as I've said in a subsequent broadcast, when we told you that we saw the administration fling some money at the Road Safety Committee a couple of weeks ago, flinging money at the problem don't always solve it. Don't always solve it. And as we showed you guys on yesterday's program, we thought they build the access road to solve a problem, but like it just shift the problem down. We got to solve problems in this country. And some of these issues got to be led from the front. Got to be led from the front. So, folks, as we wrap up our show today, as we wrap up our broadcast, let us all go forth and be great and exercise caution, care, consideration, common sense, and courtesy as we use the roadways, as we engage the roadways. Care, caution, consideration, common sense, and courtesy. That's our time. That's our program, folks. Share the live stream. You don't think other people ought to know this information, ought to hear what's happening there on the road and be motivated and encouraged to take it easy, to slow down? Share the program for us. Smash that emoji button, guys. And of course, Partner with us. We cannot do these programs without you. We just can't. You need guidance on how you can partner with us financially to keep us on air, to keep us going. You can WhatsApp us. WhatsApp us at our MMG number, which is 627 6963 627 6963. And that, folks, is our MMG number, 627 6963. We are available via Zelle, via PayPal, via Cash App. We're available via MMG. We're available via Western Union, via MoneyGram, all for your convenience. Not because you want to, we got a set of things that we can, you know, attract your well earned dollars, but all for your convenience. Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, MoneyGram, Western Union, MMG, all for your convenience. Folks, believe it or not, the next time we talk again is going to be a new month. Tomorrow, if my calendar is accurate, is the first day of May. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of May. Now, I trust that you guys have hit the ground running and you have done all you can to get that much closer to all of your goals and dreams and aspirations in April, and that you're looking back on it with no real regret. I mean, there's always things we could have improved and done better, but on the whole, we hope that you don't have too many regrets about April. That you're that much closer. You're right there, folks. And let's hit the ground running in May. Pace and power. Boots on the ground in May. And we're going to continue to pursue our hopes and our dreams and our aspirations, fleshing them out, making them real, making them reality. So looking forward to see you guys right back here tomorrow for our podcast, Below the Belt. Thanks each and every one of you for joining us. I'm still trying to ascertain. You see, we work so hard here every day. I'm not too certain that Monday's a holiday. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. And if so, we're going to be off. But we're going to keep you guys posted tomorrow. See you guys right back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Sheldon, Wickham, and Marva Jacobs. Let's practice all those C's as we go. Sandra Brotherson and Candy Naleen Inderjeet, folks. Thanks for joining us. Could not have done this program without you. Leonard Fraser, good to see you as well. Remember the C's. Remember the 5 C's, right? I see Leonard Fraser says people flashing blue lights. It looked like police. It's so sad. Yes, I see a lot of strong lights cars got in front. They add all of these special lights to their vehicles and they create havoc with your own sight. Some very, very strong lights. Care, caution, consideration, common sense, and courtesy. Let's practice them, folks. Over the weekend, in the month ahead, in the months ahead. And let's try to curb this thing. This carnage on our roads. Let's try to curb it. Oriana Lord, good to see you. Rita Singh, Wilma Grant, Auntie Sandra Hanover. I died there, Auntie Sandra Hanover. Wilma Grant, good to see you. Alexis Williams, good to see you. Have a fantastic weekend, folks. Be gentle with yourselves. See you guys right back here tomorrow, same time, same place. That's our program. Take care now. Stay safe. Stay safe.